A determined rookie lawyer secretly takes on a case, igniting unexpected conflict with her former partner. As tensions rise, she turns to her stoic mentor for guidance. This preview hints at a test of principle and growing respect between mentor and mentee. The man was set to become Ulam's next client. He was giving Ulam this opportunity because he knew that the CO firm was better. During their first meeting, he shared that something had been troubling him and that he needed someone capable to handle it. When he was introduced to Mr. Hong Du-yun as the lawyer in charge, he politely declined. Instead, he asked for another attorney, Mr. Yoon. He had heard that attorney Yoon had an impressive win rate and was known for his meticulous attention to detail. The man made his stance clear: if Mr. Yoon agrees to take my case, I will entrust the SMR Como Fund investment deal entirely to Ulam. It was a tempting offer. While the client excused himself to the restroom, the team quietly discussed why he was so insistent on having Yoon. The real question was, would Yoon even accept this case? Perhaps, through Mr. Kim, the head of the litigation team, they could persuade him. When the official meeting between the client and attorney Yoon finally took place at Ulam's office, Yoon seemed puzzled. By all rights, this case should have been handled by the mergers and acquisitions team, not litigation. But then, the details emerged. The client's, Art, his live-in partner, had filed a report accusing him of physically assaulting her daughter. He wanted to resolve the matter quietly, without dragging it into court. Attorney Yoon listened carefully and made an immediate assumption: if your partner is acting this boldly, she must have something concrete against you. And indeed, she did. Photographs showing the child covered in bruises, evidence that could easily sway public opinion. The client, however, dismissed the photos. He argued that bruises could be faked, especially in this situation. He was often away, far too busy with work, while his partner and her daughter spent every day together. In his eyes, it would have been easy for her to fabricate a narrative that painted him as the villain. He admitted he had considered paying her off to make the problem disappear. But then he realized that such a move would look like an admission of guilt, an acknowledgement of something he insisted he had never done. Now, he needed a strategy that would both clear his name and avoid an ugly public battle. The stakes were high, not only his reputation, but also the major investment deal he had promised Ulam. And for that reason, every eye in the firm was now on attorney Yoon, waiting for his decision. Attorney Yoon's colleague shared more background about Choi Chol-min, the man at the center of the alleged child abuse case. There was more to the story than the client had revealed. Behind the Como Fund, there was a network of influential people, VIPs, with many elite politicians deeply involved. And if some of the business figures were connected to organized crime, then the stakes were far higher than anyone first imagined. As for Choi himself, his public image was that of a gentle man, a sweet figure in the media. But those who knew the shadows of power understood, he was formidable. So formidable that it wouldn't be surprising if he could kill someone and still walk away without consequence. Then came the call. Attorney Yoon was informed that Choi had agreed to the initial retainer fee, 500 million won. That's a steep down payment, someone commented, but the funding for Como has already been approved. Still, the question hung in the air. Yoon's colleague asked again, do you really want to take this on? Many in the firm doubted it. Attorney Yoon had never handled a child abuse case before, especially one tied to court. But the potential upside was undeniable. If Yoon could win this case, his earnings would skyrocket, and he could secure the coveted position of managing partner. Meanwhile, in another part of the firm, attorney Heo Min-jung was in the middle of discussing Yoon with her own colleague when news came in. There was a new client waiting for her. The case, it seemed, was a divorce. When she entered the meeting room and saw the client, something shifted in her expression. She didn't appear pleased to see this person. Mr. Kim, who had introduced them, was quickly told to leave so that she could speak to the woman privately. Out in the hall, Mr. Kim spoke to attorney Lee Jin-woo with a half-smile. You know, Heo Min-jung is scarier than my own wife. The comment carried a mix of respect and humor, though the irony wasn't lost on them. Kim was technically Min Jung's superior. He added in a lower voice, I think they know each other, but they're definitely not on friendly terms. What had seemed like a routine divorce meeting now felt charged with personal history. Just as in Yoon's case, there was more beneath the surface, and in the halls of Ulam, nothing stayed simple for long. Attorney Jin Woo gathered his juniors and announced that they would be traveling to Pohang the next morning to meet the defendant. Everyone was coming along, Mr. G, Mr. O, and Ms. Choi. The only exception was Kang Hyo Min, who would remain at the office. One of the colleagues remarked with a grin that Hyo Min would be lonely, given they'd all be gone for a week. Days later, Jin Woo approached Hyo Min at her desk. I have a court session at 2 this afternoon, he said. Before that, I want you to meet the art in the CEO Como Fund case. Just go, listen to what she says, and find out what she really wants. Hyo Min went to the woman's home. The art recounted everything, her voice trembling. She admitted she had become fearful of even answering the phone, terrified something might have happened to her daughter, the one allegedly abused. The tension in her words was real. When Hyo Min returned to the office, she reported directly to Attorney Yoon. It seems everything she told me is true, she said firmly. That's too quick to decide, Yoon replied. But her eyes, they were honest, Hyo Min countered. Her suggestion was blunt, if you find her suspicious, report her first. Jin Woo cut in, shaking his head. What kind of lawyer reports their own client? That's a breach of confidentiality. Hyo Min shot back, is that really what matters to you? If you don't want to break the law, then let me report it instead. Yoon's voice grew firm. Step outside, Hyo Minimum. But she didn't move. Do you know how badly I wanted to tell you about what Joy did? The whole way back to the office, I kept thinking, if you heard it, you'd act immediately. You wouldn't let him get away with it. Yoon met her gaze. And what are you, the judge? Don't act recklessly. Suddenly, one of the firm's partners appeared, furious. He turned his wrath on Hyo Min. You're just a first-year attorney, and you're already stressing me out? Why does someone like you have to show up and create problems for me? Then he turned to Jin Woo. And you? What were you thinking, sending a rookie who knows nothing to meet Choi's art on her own? The air in the office grew tense, the confrontation leaving an unspoken question hanging. Was Hyo Min's determination a dangerous liability, or the one thing that might uncover the truth?